Welcome back, Terror Maniac. So I am so remiss. I did not wish any of you a happy Mother's Day yesterday. So from me to you, happy Mother's Day. I took the entire day off, and that never happens. Well, that's not really true, right, Greg? I did laundry. So I did do laundry. And I spent the morning with my daughter. We did a little bit of shopping, and I did some laundry in the afternoon. I didn't really cook a whole lot. And then her and I spent some time with Mama Cat outside, and I got her a cute little scratching post box. So, and she got a little bit of catnip. So she had a very, very nice day. So I hope you guys had a nice day. It was relaxing. I am super late doing my mixtape Monday. It is 3:00 on Monday. I never do mixtape Monday this late, but we're going to get right into it. I want to remind everybody, I do have a private past life regression this weekend. If you would like to do a guided past life regression, come on over, hang out with us. It's going to be fun. Lots of people are going to be there. And the Lizzie Borden event, I did cancel it. I got a little banged up from the night before, and I didn't have anybody sign up about 2 hours before the program. So I said, you know what? That's a sign. I'm just going to shut it down. And then as I was shutting it down, I had one person sign up. And so I remitted that money, and we will do it again. I'm going to pick a day, and we will do the Lizzie Borden walkthrough. I know a bunch of people were very interested in doing it. I think I need to give you a little bit more time. So I'm going to pick out a time this week, and we are going to do the Lizzie Borden walkthrough. I also have had a request to do the Kurt Cobain situation. So I think I'm going to do a reverse walkthrough on that, where we start after the demise and we walk backward to find out what happened. So stay tuned for that. Working on my S's, and we're going to get going. So hit that like button. We bring up the card view. Got lots of bookings for this week. If you are one, I will see you soon. So first thing is Sally. Will Starmer resign before his full time? And I'm using the Housewives Tarot this week. The World in reverse. I do not think so. The Tower, 10 of Wands, Ace of Wands. Now, I've said this before. I don't think that the powers that be have a replacement for him yet. They want to plug somebody in there who is going to finish the job, like Joe Biden was talking about. So I don't think that he's going to exit. That World in reverse and the 10 of Wands in reverse tells me that he's not going to. But there's going to be some kerfuffle. So will he go the distance? 8 of Cups. I do think he is going to leave the position, but there's something about the ego, not without maintaining his perspective. So I think he's going to wait out his whole term. And I don't know when his term is over, if he gets the whole 4 years or if he came in and then I don't know how it works with the prime minister. So tell me in the comments, how does it work with the prime minister? They use the metric system. It's like 10 stone, right?
That's not metric.
Is that that's not metric. 10 years equals one.
You have like a term, and you have like a kiloterm.
So there you go. There's question number 1. So Prince Edward and Sophie, are they a happy couple? Edward looks very strained. So let's see. What is their relationship like? Fool, that's a good one. And the Three of Wands, you know what? They are a very private couple that does not allow, I like this about them. They are a true union and they don't let anyone interfere in that relationship. You know, sometimes you have a friend or a family member that doesn't love your spouse as much as they should, or maybe dislike your spouse more than they should. And they will kind of needle at the softer points in the relationship and cause some issues that way. I think that they're very well insulated. I think they keep their little family unit very, very insulated. Does that mean that they are not integrated into the royal family structure? No, not at all. But I think that there are people that have tried to interfere with the relationship between the two of them, and they've been very good at keeping that out. What's going on with Edward? I know he did not look well for a while. What is going on with him? I got a card jumped out. Five of Wands, conflicted. What is he conflicted about? He is very conflicted about the state of things for the royal family. He's concerned about things that are going on. This is why we're seeing him very stressed out. All the stress goes into his belly. He is very concerned about the changing pattern of the royal family. Of the royal family members, I think he's the one that really recognizes how much the monarchy has changed with the loss of Queen Elizabeth II. I think he's the one who really says, no, this is a tide that is flowing that we really can't make too much change to. I think Charles is like, well, the monarchy will stand forever. And I think Prince Andrew's got his own thing going on. And the Princess Royal is you know, she's kind of holding guard at the door. She's going to fight to the finish. And I think that Edward really says, no, there's a shift of something that has changed. Even I would suspect, I would even dare to say that he's feeling this psychically a little bit, feeling that there is a changing of the tide, and that was the Tower moment is not any of the nonsense with Princess Harry. I called him Princess Harry. Any of the nonsense with Harry and Meghan and all them. But I think that the Tower moment is losing Queen Elizabeth, losing that connection and connectivity.
Mighty wind a blowing.
It's what?
There's a mighty wind a blowing.
There's a mighty wind a blowing.
Blowing for you and me.
Blowing for you and me. I have to see a mighty wind to know what song Greg and I are singing. Want toothpaste commercial? So I think he intuitively and intellectually really understands that there are dangers at hand for the royal family. Does Sophie feel the same way? Sophie feel the same way. Sophie always feels cut from the same cloth as the Princess Royal. Sophie is cooperative when Edward says things like, I really do think the monarchy is going in the wrong direction. I think we are losing panache, losing the riz, if you will. And I think she says, no, the structure, the entity is stronger than you think. It is not dividable. It's not destroyable. But I think Edward's onto something. I think Edward is onto something. So we shall see. We shall see. New subscriber. Hi, Polly Steiner. Nice to have you on here. She is a new subscriber. Yay. So what was wrong with Harry's nose in the doorbell photo? And she also wants to know who was the man standing behind Harry was in security. So let's see what was going on with his nose. What was going on with his nose? He had like a big red patch on it. So was it an injury, sunburn, or was it just the camera? So here's injury or sunburn. And here is just the camera. I'm going to look at the camera first. Camera, injury or sunburn. No, I think he does have a sunburn, but I think the camera really kind of accelerated that. You know, there are some news outlets here in the United States that dial up the orange on President Trump when he's on TV. Have you ever seen it? Yeah, it's pretty wild if you watch it side by side. They dial up the orange. So who was the man that was standing behind Harry? Who was the man that was standing behind Harry? A really bad security guy. Here's the thing. So this Three of Cups, you know, my and Holly, since you're a new subscriber, my ex-husband used to work in the music industry, or does work in the music industry. I shouldn't say used to, he still does. And sometimes celebrities and musicians and people of that ilk will have support systems around them that are not really that supportive, not good support systems. You can see something like that in the movie Boogie Nights. You know, the Dirk Diggler had a whole bunch of people around him, and they're all doing substances and acting a fool. I do think that if this person was in charge of his security, if this person was a security person, which the moon in reverse does tell us that it's an obvious person, but the Four of Pentacles tells us that he's not really good at his job. Two of Wands, they both have different expectations of what that person's job is supposed to be. The Three of Cups becomes really alarming because that tells us that that individual is probably partaking in the same things as Harry, having the same habits, having the same interests, extracurricular interests, if you know what I mean. And that becomes a really bad thing in the end. So that opens the door for bad things to happen. And we may see that with this. So we'll have to take a little bit bigger of a look at that later in the week. So this is a bit of an esoteric question from Carmilla. Will there ever be a new world in space for the Earth humans? So will we, let's look at the next 50 years. Will we go off-world? In the next 50 years, will we be able to live off-world on another planet? Five of Swords. Nope. Eight of Wands. Strength. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer. There will be efforts and advances made. That the Knight of Pentacles up top says that they will be trying. So are we going to have outposts? There's going to be difficulty with the outposts. And the Five of Swords makes me very nervous in the middle. Makes me very, very nervous. Because that means that there's going to be fighting and complications with that kind of an effort. So as eager as we are, as speedy as we can be on that, I don't think that it's really that advisable for us to do it yet. I think we're going to run into other entities and people that don't want us out there, and that may cause some issues for us there. So I think that that's kind of interesting. So let's jump into, do we see an intergalactical kind of confrontation coming in the next 100 years? Will we have a confrontation with aliens in the next 100 years? Knight of Cups, star in reverse. They want us to stay put on this planet. There's your Five of Swords again, kids. So us leaving the planet is they don't want us out of the terrarium. They really do want us to stay put. Now, if you know anything about the Anunnaki, we are possibly a bred species.
I think we're Florida of the galaxy.
Gregopedia, my husband, thinks that we are Florida of the galaxy.
No offense to people in Florida, but you have Florida man, you will be Florida man to everyone else.
We're Florida man. But if we are in fact a bred species and that our responsibility is to mine gold here, you know, we've kind of gone awry. We're doing all kinds of other things. So very, very interesting. Fun fact for you guys. The Egyptian mummies, some of them have been found with metals in their embalming fluids and the things that they put in there. And there is a school of thought that thinks that that is a regeneration process. And that's part of the reason why the Anunnaki wanted all this gold. So some crazy things afoot. So I do think we're going to have an intergalactic issue eventually. I think they want us to stay put on our planet. They don't want us getting creative and getting off the property. So they're probably going to put an electric fence around us. So
a lot of people think that's what the firmament is.
A lot of people think the firmament is a electric fence.
Basically,
all right.
It's the barrier in which we cannot leave, which is also the barrier that separates the earth from the heavens.
Okay, so is the firmament an electric fence of sorts? Three of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Gregopedia. I think you're onto something here.
And the Nords believe that the firmament is actually the inside of the skull of Boars.
I knew that, yeah.
And the stars are the places where Villian Vey had picked his head.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So here's one from a fellow medium, Brian Medium. I just became aware of him. Brian Medium wants to know, will the Sean Combs case convict other celebrities? Now, I have been a busy bee today, running about, and I have not paid attention to anything that is going on with the Sean Combs trial. But are we going to see more celebrities be convicted? Yes or no? Judgment. Let's get another yes or no. Page of Cups. We are going to be seeing, and I hate to say it, but there's a That 70s Show guy who popped into my head who is not in jail. Sorry.
Well, that narrows it down.
Yeah, that narrowed it down, didn't it? Well, the one is Danny Masterson. He's gone, baby, gone. So the other one popped into my head. AK. Five of Cups. There are going to be people that, you know, when we get cups, sometimes that is party mentality. Three of Wands, Five of Swords. We are going to see some other people that testimony is going to create another case. So I think we can look forward to that. You know, that one individual popped into my head. I'm getting more. There are going to be moneyed people that are going to be revealed through this, and like producers and people that you don't recognize, like not the actual celebrities on the street. And I feel like they are the ones that are going to be on parade after this. And I don't know if that is turning them over, if that's, you know, testifying against them, if that's Sean Combs actually testifying against them.
It could be like Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's ratting everybody out.
Well, we knew that Tekashi 6ix9ine. That we knew that was coming. He didn't look like he had it together.
I made a meme of him.
You made a meme of him?
Yeah. He was like, he's at the trial and he's like saying something, and everybody keeps saying things that people he's ratting out. I did one where he says Princess Leia was a part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor.
Well, she was. So moving on, but sticking with the Diddy trial, Persnickety, Persnick came from Persnick, longtime subscriber, one of my favorites. I love saying Persnick. Judge was notified the key witness, victim 3, and her attorney have been unreachable by the prosecution for Diddy. Is this a willing disappearance, paid off, or foul play? Possibly. There are other witnesses, but it seems that she was pivotal. So what is the deal behind victim 3's disappearance? Hermit in reverse. 9 of Swords. There's a lot of anxiety there. Page of Pentacles. So I don't think that Page of Pentacles is payoff. I think the 9 of Swords trumps the Page of Pentacles. Why is that? Because we have the Hermit in reverse. These are people that are contacting this individual and that are influencing this individual in a way that is upsetting and motivating at the same time. That's why this person is not reachable. What about the attorney? What's the deal with the attorney? The attorney is concerned about doing this, that it would be reckless. And I think the attorney has been told that some of his dearly close people will be at risk if he continues with this. So was there a threat made against this party?
Objection. Why? Because it's damaging to my case.
Hanged Man in reverse. I'm not going down. Shut your mouth or I'll cut you.
Down, down, down. Redneck going down.
Yeah. This. And the message is, we've done it before. We can do it again. Look at what happened to Kim. Look at what happened to Kim. And they keep saying, watch Cassie, watch Cassie, watch what she's doing, watch what happens to her. So I think they're trying to get to her as well. Neat. So not necessarily foul play, but I think I think there was an implication of foul play. Is her testimony pivotal? Is it crucial for the case? Is her testimony crucial for the case? And I am getting intuitively that they're like, you were a willing party. We are going to wreck you on this. We are going to have there's some kind of thing that they can implicate her in. So is this going to ruin the case? Death in reverse, not going to change. Ace of Wands, Page of Pentacles, 7 of Cups.
Talk about an implication. Are they on a boat?
They're not on a boat. You know, he tried to charter one of my dad's boats, though.
Because of implication.
And my dad said, no freaking way.
Who, Dennis?
Huh?
Dennis? No,
Diddy.
Oh.
Diddy. And I was shocked. I was like, why aren't you doing that?
Ugh.
He goes, I don't want him on there. He goes, they've ruined the boats and the boats are down. I go, yeah, but they pay you for the time. He goes, I don't want my boat ruined. So can't blame him. I think it was
There's some things that can't be clean.
Yeah, I think it was Campbell Bay that they tried to charter. So look her up. She was a gorgeous motor yacht. I think she still is a gorgeous motor yacht. I think they changed the name though, which is bad luck. So I don't think that losing this individual is terrible for the case overall. I think they've got an abundance of information, a variety of a plethora of pinatas. Yeah, I think they have a variety of testimony that's gonna do it just fine. Do it just fine. So moving on. So here, this is an interesting one. Will Ireland ever overcome its migrant issues? So they're realizing, and by they, I mean general people, they're realizing that they do need to send some people back, that we can't have the open door policy that we thought was going to be a great idea. It's not really working. So I do think it'll work within this year. Not within this year. It's going to take a little bit of time. Unfortunately, I do think that it's almost like they're going to have to pay these people to go back to their country. They're going to have to provide them with some kind of a debit card or some kind of an exit fee, which is outrageous. But I do think that that's the way that we get them out, and send them back to their country of origin. Yes. Yes. The nearest immediate dimension. So more on that to come. So I know it's the migrant issue is crazy. So let's talk about Annette Martin's question. Will the meeting between Putin and Zelensky result with an end to the conflict? Let's see what that meeting is going to, how that meeting's going to go. See how that meeting's going to go. Five of Pentacles. Oh, not great. Four of Cups, Nine of Swords, Page of Pentacles, and the Hangman. There's going to be a lot of, I did not do anything wrong here. I don't think anybody goes home with the bag they wanted. Let's put it that way. I think everybody is put out. Does it simmer down the emotion in the moment? Yes. What we get are lots of different perspectives, lots of different scenarios. So it's not going to be like Putin's idea and Zelensky's idea. There's going to be a lot of different levels of options that we can have for negotiation here, for a cooperative agreement at the end of it all. I do think this Six of Cups, I do think the lines go back to where they were. Does this mean that Putin loses his ground? No, he gets what he wants. He pushed way beyond what he actually wanted. So he gets what he wants, but it creates the illusion that Zelensky gets what he wants. So Zelensky wants the whole enchilada back. But Putin pushed well beyond what he wanted. So they're going to give him back what his initial goal was. Not his spoken goal, but the goal that he kept quiet from all of us. So do we get a ceasefire? Is this going to stop the conflict between Russia and Ukraine? Are we finally there, kids? Are we finally there? Because now India's popping off. Pakistan's popping off. What is going on? So does this end the conflict in... no, but at least they're talking. They're still going to be fighting, but at least they're talking. Someone is stepping into the mix here that is really highlighting and showing them both their similarities in culture, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. So more on that. I think this Wednesday we can talk about that. Now, Karen Karen has a question about the recent airport, airplane, control tower blackouts. Are they cyber related? Is the airport issue. And Newark Airport has been an incredible mess. Is it a cyber issue? No. What is the issue? 1, 2, 3. Up. Higher font, 3 of Pentacles and Queen of Cups there. The problem is the leadership there. So there's like, I know there's not like one general manager, but the problem is the leadership. They don't have all of their ducks in a row, but they're going to get it sorted out. Will they get it sorted out before my daughter has to fly down to Florida? Will they get it sorted out? Yes, it'll be taken care of. So we'll leave that on a positive note, guys. So let's do this. I am going to publish this video because I know you guys have been waiting for it. My hair is a mess. I am a mess. I got my new shirt on, though. I'm very happy with this new shirt. It's very roomy for the girls. But stay tuned for the rest of the week. I don't know what I'm doing for Tuesday on. Maybe India and Pakistan because things are going on over there. So thank you so much for watching. Again, we're going to be doing past life regression on Saturday. So if you would like to join in on that group past life regression, we have a discussion after. It's on Zoom, so I get to see you, you get to see me, and we're just like talking like this. It's going to be great. It's going to be like a nice hangout. But if you'd like to join us, there's a link down below. And if you'd like to book your own magical reading, I still have some space this week. You can get in there. We're finishing up college semester. We're going into final exams for my son. So there's some crazy stuff going on. Would love to see some of you guys on my schedule. And don't forget, we have the Memorial Day sale that's going to come up. 2 days. You can book for a huge discount anytime in the year in the future. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys in the schedule for that. And I may even do a flash sale one day this week. I got to see which day seems a little bit light. But thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys in the future. Bye for now.